Howdy, my name is Courtney Davalos, and I'm a third-year veterinary student here at Texas A&M, and today we're going to be talking about nutrition and obesity. Does any of your animals look like this? How about this? Or this? All of these animals were affected by nutrition. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is defined as being the process by which organisms take in and utilize food material. All of the animals above are affected by nutrition. Every day we make decisions about nutrition that affect our pets as well as ourselves. Finding a complete, balanced diet for your pet as well as yourselves can be very challenging. Does this look familiar? So why do we have all these guidelines concerning our nutrition? So there are essential nutrients that you must have: water, fat, carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, and minerals. So why is water important? First of all, it solubilizes biochemicals and thereby facilitates their actions and interactions. Water helps regulate body temperature. It's a fluid medium for blood and your lymph systems. Your blood is actually 90% water. It lubricates your body tissues and makes up 55 to 75% of the human body. Unfortunately, water is not stored heavily in the body, so we must constantly replace it because it's excreted. Dehydration is the condition marked by a shortage of water or fluids in the body. It can be caused by vomiting or diarrhea, excessive sweating, or excessive sweating due to strenuous activity. Symptoms may include lethargy, which is weakness, headaches or cramps, increased thirst, or decreased urination. Proteins are made up of a long sequence of amino acids that fold upon itself to form function-specific structures. It serves numerous essential functions in the body, such as muscle growth, tissue repair, and transporting oxygen. As a protein is consumed from food, its amino acids are used to produce necessary body proteins. There are certain amino acids that are essential in everyday diet that's required by your body for normal growth. Not all protein sources contain the same amino acids, so a diet must be diverse and well managed. Natural sources include meat, eggs, dairy products, and soybeans. Carbohydrates are a source of fuel for the body. They produce the energy that powers the body to keep going. There are three main sources of carbs. There are simple sugars, starches, and fiber. Simple sugars are the product of digestion of the larger molecules. The most important of these is glucose, which is the primary sugar absorbed by the body. Carbohydrates, there are starches and fiber. Starch is a long chain of sugars connected by a specific type of bonding that is easily digested by enzymes in the small intestine. Fiber are long chains of sugars connected by beta bonds, which can only be broken down by microbes in the stomach of ruminant animals. Fat is a concentrated form of energy, and it's the most common type is triglycerides, and there are different types of fat, such as saturated and unsaturated fat. There's also vitamins. There are different types of vitamins, such as fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins, and vitamins are very important in maintaining a balanced diet because you can be deficient in certain vitamins, such as vitamin A, and you can also have too much of a certain type of vitamin, like vitamin D. And those are just examples. There's many more. Minerals are also important, and different minerals have different functions. Calcium and phosphorus are really important in bone and cartilage growth and maintenance. Sodium and chloride are really important for your fluid balances. Potassium for your muscles and nerves, and potassium and zinc also for enzymatic reactions within your body. And you can be deficient in certain minerals. So what is malnutrition? So malnutrition is defined as the lack of proper nutrition. You can also hear terms like undernutrition and starvation. It affects pets and animals both at all ages, and there's different severities. In this picture, this baby is most likely infected with another problem, possibly parasites, but nutrition probably played a big factor in it. So this is a chart about the leading causes of death in children under 5 in developing countries, and the contribution of undernutrition. So all of these kids died. They were 5 and under, and all of them, they had different diseases, but they were all attributable to being undernutritioned. So different things like pneumonia and diarrhea and malaria and measles, HIV and AIDS, all of those were reasons that these kids died, and 53% of these deaths were attributable to being undernutritioned. So what is obesity? So obesity is an increase in body weight caused by excessive accumulation of fat. It's an increasing problem. There's been an evolutionary change over time in our pets as well as ourselves, and it has many health effects. So how do you know what is an ideal body weight? So this is a chart from 1991 just about the U.S., and it shows the prevalence of obesity among U.S. adults. And this is in 1991. The darker the color is, the more obesity there was in that state. And you can see that there are a couple states that are a little bit darker, but most of them are pretty light right now. And then this is in 2000. So you can see that there's a big increase, and this only shows from 2000, not current date, and I'm sure it's worse now. So obesity in animals is associated with many health issues. Do you know that these are just a few of them? There is a long list that of health issues that obesity is associated with, but these are just a few of them, being diabetes mellitus, orthopedic issues, heart disease, and liver disease. So let's talk about obesity and diabetes. So how many of you guys have a family member that has had diabetes? So the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes is type 1 is insulin dependent. The pancreas is incapable of producing enough insulin to maintain the body. And type 2 is non-insulin dependent diabetes. The pancreas makes insulin, but the body does not respond to it or does not recognize it. Cats have a high incidence of type 2 diabetes, and a high-fat diet can help cause the activation of a regulatory protein, which can cause the development of insulin resistance, which is why they're more prone to type 2. Overweight cats are 2 times more likely to get diabetes, and obese cats are 4 times more likely to get diabetes. So obesity and orthopedic diseases. So this is just a list of different things that obesity can be attributed to. Overweight dogs have a higher incidence of rupturing the cranial cruciate ligament. They also have a higher incidence of getting osteoarthritis when they get older. Elbow and hip dysplasia. Laminitis in horses is a big deal as well. So how do we assess body condition? So you can take your animals into a local veterinarian. There are different body condition scores that your veterinarian may use. Either they can use scales that are either from a 1 to 5 or 1 to 9. This is an example of a scale that is from 1 to 9, and they would rank your animal depending on how well they look and if they are obese or not. It's similar to a BMI, which is the body mass index in human medicine. So unhealthy foods and diets. So we've got the constant debate between quantity versus quality. Many people will feed a whole lot of a not quality diet, and they'd have to feed a lot more to their pet in order to get the same nutrition as they would in a higher quality diet. So there's also the debate between animals being fed 1 time a day versus 2 to 3 times a day. It's thought that if you break up the meals into more than 1 meal a day, that they'll be able to keep their metabolism a little bit higher and be able to maintain weight a little bit better. Also, there's a big issue about table scraps. A lot of people give table scraps to their pets. This is not good. It doesn't help maintain their balance for their nutrition, and it can cause a lot of problems and lead to obesity. It's the same thing. All of this is the same thing with us, all the choices that we make every day, deciding to go get a fast food meal versus going home and eating a healthy meal. So how do you take off the weight? Well, there's healthy versus unhealthy methods. This is not a quick fix. The weight wasn't put on very fast, so therefore you can't take it off very fast. Healthy. You have to have the proper diet. There's different diets from different companies, such as Purina OM, Science Diet RD, and different companies produce overweight management diets. Exercise is really important. It's really important for your pets as well as you when trying to get off weight. And also there are some drugs that are available, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The biggest thing is if you think that your animal is obese, you should contact your veterinarian and to help get you and your animal on the right track to getting them healthier. So how do you measure up? A 40-pound dog who's 5 pounds overweight is equivalent to a 200-pound man being how many pounds overweight? So it's 25 pounds. That's a lot. So Cilintrol is the first prescription drug aimed for canine weight loss in the USA. It targets the small intestine and reduces fat absorption. Therefore, it gives the feeling of being full and therefore reduces food intake. So the goal is to lose 3% of the body weight every month, and there's different phases. There's the weight loss phase and the maintenance phase. The key is this is not a quick fix, once again, and it's going to take a long time, and it's something that your animal will have to be on for a long time. So if you're interested or you think this might be a good thing for your animal, contact your veterinarian and talk to them about it. So there's some current research going on regarding obesity and cancer. So there's this study trying to determine the distribution of body condition score values for dogs examined at a veterinary hospital to see if the scores differed from the dogs with malignant neoplasms, which is cancer, and dogs that did not have any cancer. So they used about 1,700 dogs with cancer and then about 12,000 dogs without cancer. They defined obesity as being a body condition score of greater than 7 out of 9. And overall, there was a higher prevalence of obese dogs in this study compared to previous studies, which correlates with our previous chart talking about how much obesity has become a problem. The result was there was a lower prevalence of overweight and obese dogs with the different type of cancers, and there was no difference in body condition score distributed with dogs with a certain type of cancer. But the problem with this is they decided that their sample population was a little bit too small, and they probably should have used benign tumors instead of just malignant tumors, and therefore their results could have been skewed. So the question still is, so is obesity related to cancer? And if it is it causing it or is it just correlated with it? And the answer is we still don't know. This is why there's still research going on to this day, and they're working hard to try to figure out what the connection is. Thanks for listening. This has been a presentation by Texas A&M College of Veterinary Medicine.